A little bit about Nick Ayers here, and then we'll get him started. Nick is the founder of Thrivesure Insurance, Made You Look Marketing, and he's also the founder of the IAOA, which is the Independent Agency Owners Alliance. He's a certified story brand expert and known throughout the industry as a leader in both technology and video advertising. He lives in Mesa, Arizona, recent Arizona resident, with his wife Danielle and two boys, Liam and Hendrix. He has a Facebook group that you can find on here after we get done to. It's Made You Look YouTube Ads for Small Businesses. He's also a long-suffering, avid Notre Dame football fan. So try not to hold that against him too much. And Nick, I'll hand you the keys and I'll let you take over the show. I will let everyone know here too, if you don't already have it out, make sure you've got your notebook out, but even better if you've got maybe a computer, a tablet, an extra monitor, so you can really take good notes and get a feel for what Nick's about to unleash on us here.
Thank you so much for that, Adam, for the introduction. Yes, I am a diehard Notre Dame fan. It is something that if you insult, we might be fighting. But that is it's a religion in our house. So thank you so much for that. I love Kentucky. I've been to Kentucky once. I was there last year, and before we made the move to Arizona, Lexington was in our short list. My wife loved it in Lexington, and so we really enjoyed ourselves there. We enjoy Kentucky, so you guys have a great thing there. So today we're going to talk about something that's very unique and something that's maybe you don't hear a lot about yet, but something that we've been using for a couple of years and something that we work with other agents on how to use, and that is using YouTube advertising. When I say YouTube advertising, people are going, that sounds really stupid. Who watches ads on YouTube? And this is a question I ask often whenever I'm on stage or I'm in groups and I'm asking people, how many of you guys you're familiar with seeing an ad on YouTube? Raise your hand. And people will raise their hands, and I always say, well, leave your hands up. How many of you skip that ad the moment you get an opportunity to do that? And just about everybody leaves their hands up. People think, YouTube is bad, it sucks, and nothing could be further from the truth. Whenever I tell people that yes, they skipped the ad, but that meant that that really cost the advertiser nothing. That was free at that point. Then mindsets begin to shift a little bit. And today, what we're going to talk about is how to use YouTube ads to do something very specific. And I'm going to share my screen here if I can. I have the ability to share screen. I do. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to share something I put together for you guys. And the way that this is going to work, that if at any point you guys have questions, I want you to put them in the chat if possible. I'm going to take time and I'm going to check those questions. I'm going to answer as many questions as I possibly can. I want to make sure that by the time you guys leave here, you have a really good understanding of how this works. My agency is a personal lines agency for the most part. We're about 90% personal lines, and that means we write a lot of home and auto insurance. And for us, it's imperative that we have as many centers of influence or quality centers of influence, referral partners, loan officers in this case, who are sending us business. And I talk about it a little bit here going in as we go further, but kind of the old way that I would get referral partners is I would go into their office. I would beg them. I'd say, John, Judy, Bill, Sally, we're a great insurance agency. You should use us for home insurance. They go, yeah, that's great, fantastic. And then you left, and you're lucky, it was constant. But when I started generating leads, prospects for them, the tune changed and leverage shifted. Now I became somebody that they wanted to talk to. And I became somebody that had the power and the position in the relationship to kind of dictate how this was going to work. And we started attracting more loan officer partners. And we started getting more referrals for home insurance. We started cross-selling those referrals with auto insurance and life insurance and umbrella insurance. And we started growing my agency. I've fortunate now to, fortunate or dumb, I don't know which way you want to look at it, but I've started 2 scratch agencies. I'm on my second one. And this is how we've grown. We've grown our personal lines by working with referral partners and really becoming an asset for them. So in today's presentation, what I'm going to show you how to do is I'm going to show you how to generate qualified mortgage prospects with YouTube ads for less than $10. I'm going to show you how to do this just by using your cell phone. We're not using fancy equipment. We're not using, cameras and lights and all these things. I mean, I have all this stuff in my office here, but I don't use that for ads. I use that because I'm a hobbyist. I jokingly tell people I'm the worst insurance agent in the world because I don't drink and I don't golf. So I'm not spending my money on those things. Instead, I spend it on B&H Photo buying ridiculous equipment like drones and lights and nonsense. That's my hobby. But you don't need that to make effective ads. So talk to you a little bit about who I am. This was me on the left in 1997. My very first job. This was back when it was cool to wear a white T-shirt underneath your button-up, and I was a camera operator for a public access TV station. That's how I got my start with video. I started shooting video content for people that would come in and want to record it because they wanted to be on public access. They couldn't afford to be on regular TV because they were small businesses, and so they hit the public access route. So I started shooting video, started editing video, and that's how I fell in love with video. This was before YouTube. This was before Facebook. This was before video marketing became such a hot trend. And that's how I got my start, was in the content creation side. Fast forward to today, I have the opportunity now to work with lots of people, Adam included, on using YouTube ads to get in front of their ideal prospect, their ideal customers, working on strategies that are going to help them write more business and grow their business. So a little bit about what we do and how YouTube ads work for mortgage. These are some of our mortgage clients. We do pretty well in the mortgage niche. We do well in the insurance niche, but I love generating mortgage leads for insurance agents, helping them show them how to do that, and then also showing mortgage people how they do that, and they find value in it. So these are some of our refer partners. These are some of our clients. Being able to, there's David off to the left there. He's able to get $2.67 leads, and he's able to grow his refer partners to real estate agents. Nick in the middle, 58 leads with 86 cents a lead. Ben off to the right getting pre-approvals and filling his mortgage pipeline. So we're very well versed in how to do this, and we do this pretty well. So I talked to a lot of people who assume that, and I touched on this a little bit, that you need a fancy camera and lights to make good YouTube ads, and that's false. You don't need that. In fact, that's actually what will hurt you. That'll be a detriment to you. Not only will it hamper your implementation, but I always tell people that if it looks like an ad, it gets treated like an ad. And so that's why I favor just a cell phone selfie style ad where I'm talking or someone else is talking and it cuts through the noise. Because if you think about ads that you see on YouTube in particular, you're used to seeing ads that are high production value. You're used to seeing ads that are essentially duplicates of a company or corporation's TV spots. So you'll see ads from Southwest Airlines, T-Mobile, Coca-Cola, and these big companies that are just spending money just to brand themselves. And YouTube is a great avenue just for branding, but it's a really great avenue to actually generate leads and get people interested in a product or service. So you can use low budget cell phone videos to generate qualified, interested mortgage buyers with YouTube ads. And talk a little bit, why do we do this? Well, because it's easy to scale. That's the biggest reason why we do it. People will say, Nick, why don't you just generate insurance leads? And I tell them, well, we do that, but they're not scalable. What do I mean by that? One lead equals, for a mortgage, equals one new referral partner. I can use that lead to get a referral partner who's going to start sending me business. One referral partner could equal hundreds of referrals. It's scalable. I can scale my business and my inbound leads by doing this strategy. We generate insurance leads, but every insurance lead is one insurance lead. Yes, I can cross-sell, but one client is one client. I'm not predictably getting referrals. I'm not predictably setting myself up for scale. I'm getting one insurance lead and I'm getting one insurance client. That's what I can predict. And so while we do this too, we do this in conjunction with stuff, a great way to scale your agency is with referral partners. And this, you can do this on anything. In fact, we did this with Adam. Adam's agency writes large commercial. We did a strategy like this on the commercial side of things with Adam. It's something that can work when you consistently do it. So here's the old way that it used to happen. And I remember these days. I've been in the insurance industry since 2005. So I remember this vividly, whether it was showing up to a loan officer or to a car dealership or to somebody else begging for business with box of donuts in hands, serving up diabetes and donuts on a plate and hoping that they would like me. And my referral partners essentially treated me like this. This is how I was reacted to. Like, they would say, "Oh, that's nice," but you'd walk out the door and this is the feeling that you got. This is how they reacted. Like, they just laughed at you because you did what every other insurance agent does. And those donuts, they usually just go in the trash. And there's nothing that's really valuable. There's no level of value. I understood that if I was going to build a relationship with referral partners, I needed to do something that was valuable for them. Let me also say this. This is not the only way to do it. This is not the only way to bring value. There are lots of people in our space who are great, who do other things to bring value. But for me, I had to rely on something that I knew that I could do and something that I could predict. And so I started figuring out, okay, what do my referral partners want the most? That is the question I asked myself. What do they want? Well, they want what I want. They want customers. That's what they want, because customers equals money, revenue, commission to them. I was, a lot of my relationships still are. My agency still operates for the most part out of California. A loan officer who issues one loan, closes one loan, is probably making anywhere from $7,000 to $15,000. Right? They want more of that. So the old way was just deliver donuts, beg and plead. And like I mentioned earlier, that puts me at a real disadvantage when it comes to leverage in the relationship. There's no reason for them to want to do business with me. Why? Because I bring them donuts, maybe a bottle of wine, maybe I send them to lunch. That's great until somebody does something better. The new-ish way, and you've probably seen a lot of this, is people will say, well, I'll generate I'll generate leads with Facebook ads. Probably see a lot of this. This is pretty rampant. I'll generate Facebook leads. And I think that's a great step in the right direction. In fact, I started doing this years ago as well. But I want to talk about why YouTube is better than Facebook for mortgage lead generation. So basically and this is, I preface this is my bias, but I also believe there's a lot of truth to this. The difference between Facebook ads and YouTube ads. Facebook ads for mortgage specifically are deceptive. They're scammy. They're usually not branded. Facebook is a very saturated platform, and it's expensive. It just is. You can get cheap leads, but you're spending one of two things. You're either spending money or your loan officer is spending time chasing people who aren't really qualified because they're deceptive, scammy, non-branded, or saturated. With YouTube ads, it's transparent, it's branded, and it's data rich. I'll reverse engineer some of this a little bit. So data rich, I'll work backwards, I should say. Data rich. YouTube is owned by Google. I jokingly tell people the Illuminati is afraid of how much information Google knows about them. Google knows everything. Google is Big Daddy. Every website that you go to, everything you watch on YouTube, everything you type into Google search, everything you click on, every website that you visit, incognito or not, that has Google Analytics installed, Google knows who you are. It knows what you're doing. It could predict your behavior because their AI is pretty smart. It's very data rich. And it's got way more data than Facebook. Facebook used to be pretty good at a lot of things. Used to be good at a lot of targeting options, but over the last year and a half, that's changed. You can't do what you used to do on Facebook. But you could do that on Google. You could do it on Google. I always jokingly say it's because Google probably has better lawyers, or the politicians are more afraid of what Google knows about them. So Google gets away with a lot more. They're data rich. They have a lot more expansive options and things to target and to leverage on the data side. And it's very simple. It's branded. I'll show you what that means here on the next slide. It's transparent. So this is your typical mortgage ad on Facebook on the left. This is what most mortgage ads look like. This is what gets taught in courses. This is what gets taught in programs when people say, we're going to teach you how to generate mortgage leads on Facebook. This is what they mean. So this is what's called an incognito page or a dummy page. It's not branded. It's not real. It's fake. It's a fugazi, whatever you want to call it. It's not real. First Responders United. Attention Arizona first responders. We're excited to announce a 2020 new home program. So, I mean, this is, when I say deceptive and scammy, this is what I mean. There's somebody, an insurance agent or a loan officer behind this that is running this ad unbranded, not transparent, not credible, not legit, not honest. And, you know, when they use terms like new 2020 home buyer program, well, it's, I understand you can make a new program for anything you want, but again, that's where, you know, there's so much nuance. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm just trying to destroy the strategy. This strategy can work. I mean, you can close 1 or 2 loans out of 100 leads. I mean, it can work, but again, how much time are you spending? And usually you're attracting people that the loan officer doesn't really particularly want. Because let's face it, loan officers have the same struggles that insurance agents have when it comes to follow-up and sales. Loan officers are used to real estate agents giving them referrals to just close a loan. Hey, I need a pre-approval for my customer trying to get keys to this house on Main Street. Great. That's the extent of their salesmanship. So they have struggles. And so when you generate these types of leads, you're typically filling a pipeline full of people who came in with a level of skepticism, or they're just not as savvy as you hope. Now compare that to YouTube ads. And I don't know if my viewer here is blocking this, so let me minimize this a little bit. Compare this with YouTube ads where it's brand facing. It's the loan officer on camera in front of homes in an area talking about his or her offer, making it something that is desirable, attractive, and transparent. So that's what I mean, the difference between Facebook ads and YouTube ads. Don't get me wrong, you can generate a lot of leads with Facebook ads. You can generate a ton of them for $1 or $2 or $3. You could do that all day long. But it comes down to, who am I attracting? You know, what am I putting out there that's bringing in, you know, the leads? So how does this work? I've set it up a little bit. Let's talk about how it works. How does this work? So there's you on the left. I want you to imagine, if you're a boy, that's what you look like. If you're a girl, you got your hair tied back. All right, so that's what you look like. That's you on the left. How does this work? Well, you go onto things like Google. You type in homes for sale in, right? You visit websites like Zillow, Redfin, Trulia. You go to maybe YouTube. You type in the same result. You type in and you go to websites and you do mortgage calculators. What does Google begin to understand? Google begins to understand, Johnny over there really wants to buy a house, or Johnny's interested in buying a house. We know this based on what he's doing on the internet. We know what he's doing not only on our site, but on sites that we control. We know what he's doing on other websites. We see this data. We're able to track it. So we begin to know what you're doing online. And you can put an ad or a video in front of people that Google knows is in market. So there's pre-designed templates in Google for people who are in the market to buy a home. Can't get much easier than that. And again, it's not anything like wizardry or guru-ness. It's this. Just knowing this. Just knowing what people are doing. You can get in front of them. You can get in front of that person with an ad. And you can get in front of them because Google knows that they're in the market to buy a home. So this is one of our ad accounts. You know, we generate leads. This one is screen captured at 293 leads at $6.65 a lead. There's 2 ways of looking at this. Either I could pay that money, or I can have my loan officer pay that money. And we'll talk about that. And when and where you might want to start off with that, or how you might want to get to that point to where you can have your loan officers paying for your marketing budget, and you don't have to spend a dime on this stuff. And all you need to do is manage the ads, make sure that they're getting the leads, follow up with them, and you know, you get the referrals. Here's another thing I'll say about loan officers and doing this whole strategy. And I didn't make a slide for this, but I do want to rabbit trail just a little bit. Leads should not be the final thing you do. The leads really should do one thing: get you in the door. That's it. You should be running leads. You should be running ads, delivering leads on average for just a few months, on average. And the reason why is because, again, you don't want to be a commodity to these people. This is your Trojan horse to get in the door and to build a real relationship with them. That is what you want. That is what you need to aspire to. If you're 6 months in and you're still delivering leads to the same people, and they're still, you haven't really developed any sort of rapport, it's just transactional, that's a problem. The moment the leads stop, guess what else stops? The referrals. But the leads are there to establish a relationship so you can deliver your true value as an independent agent, and they can like, know, and trust you. They know that you're going to help them. Now, they might get to a point that, and I've had this happen. They'll say, Nick, leads are great, but we just don't have the systems in place right now to really accommodate all of them. We love what you're doing though. Just keep helping our clients, keep helping us, fund more loans by giving us great insurance products. And that happens. And that's how you're going to know you have a good partner. Now, they might say, just you could trim it back. We don't need maybe 20 a day. Maybe give us only trim it back towards only 1 a day. Right. And so the leads are just the setup for the real relationship. So what goes into these ads? And this is what we're going to spend the most of our time talking about here, because this is the most important part. This is how your ad needs to look. I can sit here and I can tell you, say this, say that, say this, say this. I'm not going to do that, because that'll actually, you won't learn anything. And B, everybody's a little bit different. So your ad, if you do it right, is going to last between 2.5 and 3 minutes long, 2.5 to 3.5 minutes long, if you do this right, on average. And it is really broken into 6 parts, and this is a framework for you. And this works for mortgage ads. This works for insurance ads. This works for any ads. This is a winning framework, regardless of what you're trying to do. I would say this works in sales. I would say this works in everything. This is a pretty basic 6-part framework. You need to start off with an offer. What do I mean by that? Well, there has to be a reason why somebody would want to take action on an ad. Why are they going to listen? Why are they not going to skip when they have the opportunity? What's going to tie them in and hook them into wanting to know more? That is always going to be the offer. What do they have to gain? What is it what's in it for them? What is the attractive sticking point that says, that draws them in? That's what you need to figure out. For mortgage, one that we lead with a lot is how to own a home in the next 60 days. That's simple. It's easy to understand. Your offer has to be very clear. One thing that insurance agents do, one thing that mortgage people do, one thing that everybody does, is they make it very mathematical. They think, let me stop my screen here because I'm going to probably go on a little diatribe here. And I also want to check the chat here if you guys have any questions. But one thing that people do is, and they do this incorrectly, is they talk to people like they are also insurance agents, or they are also people in the mortgage space, or they understand the language that they're saying. So for an insurance agent, when they do ads, they'll say, they'll talk about ISO forms, or they'll talk about coverages. Your customer doesn't understand that. They don't get it. That's a mistake that a lot of people have, and they think that that is an attractive offer. It's not. It's not simple. It's not easy to understand. It's not desirable. Nobody cares about that. You have to understand that when it comes to decisions and why people make buying decisions on any level, is they make decisions based on what they feel, or based on how they feel inside. People don't make decisions with their brain. They think they do. But you and I make decisions whether we are buying cups or computers or blue jeans, bubblegum, or private islands in the Bahamas. We make emotional-based decisions, and we later justify those emotions with logic. That's how the human brain operates. And so when you're thinking about your offer, and you're thinking about this, because this is the most important aspect of your ad, is what's in it for them. What do they have to gain? Why are they going to listen? You have to make it so desirable and so simple. And you have to appeal to the emotional reasons why people are going to buy something. So let's give a tangible example of this. I could go out and buy a big truck, big tires, just big old bed, just a man's truck. I could go out and buy one of those. Now, I bring it into the driveway and my wife goes, "What in the world is that?" And I think, "Oh, babe, I only need like 1 or 2 clients a month to pay for this. I'm going to get this wrapped with our company logo. It's going to, and I justify it like logically. But the reason I went and bought that truck was because I wanted to fulfill something inside. And usually that mechanism is status. I'm doing something based on a level of status I want to obtain. I want someone to perceive me a certain way. I want to be viewed a certain way. I want to be known as somebody in the same circle as, right? There's all kinds of emotional reasons that tie to decisions. The same is true on a home. The same is true with insurance. The same is true in everything. There's an emotional reason. Insurance is the most emotional because it's the most intangible. People say, "Nick, I sell insurance. I don't have a way of connecting any of these things. It's not like I'm selling a truck." Well, maybe it's not a widget. You're right. But there's emotional reasons why they buy things. Do people buy luxury vacations because it gives them a tangible thing? No, they buy it because there's an experience. There's something internal that they're experiencing. Same is true within a financial product. And so your job, I know I'm dovetailing a little bit into insurance here, but your job as an insurance agent is to find the emotional reasons why people do things. And insurance is a great example of that. Why do people buy higher limits of liability? Why do they get an umbrella? Why are they electing to get low this coverage or that coverage on their home or their auto or their business? There's reasons. And it's on you to figure that out, to know your customer, to know your ideal customer and know why they do things so that you can get more customers like them, so that you can craft a message that is attractive to more people like them. And so when we think about a home and we think about mortgage ads, we don't want to start off with things that are not attractive, not simple to grasp, and not desirable. When I say own a home in 60 days, my 6-year-old knows what that means. Not only that, but psychologically, I'm already weeding out the people that want to wait a year. And so when you're crafting your message, you have to give it, the 6-year-old test. Does my 6-year-old understand this? If the answer is no, you need to refine it. You need to clarify it. Do we have any questions? Let me check on the chat here. No questions. At least I don't see any in the Zoom webinar chat. Okay. Does this all make sense? I mean, are you guys hearing me? Can you, just maybe type anything in the chat, 1, 2, or 3, or get lost, Nick, anything. Like, I want to, you guys understand what is it I'm talking about? So we want a really irresistible offer. All good here. Perfect. So let me go back and I'm going to share my screen again. We're going to go through this framework next. The next thing you want to do in your ad, and again, this works on any level of sales and marketing, is you want to qualify. You need to qualify who this is good for. You need to qualify who is the ideal client, because that's what you want to bring in. By qualifying, you're automatically disqualifying. When you qualify, you're automatically signaling out the people and plucking out the people that you want to do business with, and the people that don't qualify have already disqualified themselves. I'll give you an example on the mortgage side again. When I talk about owning a home in the next 60 days, and we know that 30 of those is escrow, so we're only attracting, people who are serious buyers. Well, I might qualify with something like this. This is perfect for anybody who has fair or better credit, is tired of paying over $1,800 a month in expensive Phoenix rent. So I don't lead with the negativity. I don't lead with, "Hey, deadbeats, you got poor credit, get lost. Hey, loser." At least I'm trying not to make anybody feel that way. I'm trying to keep it positive and attractive. Sometimes you'll see in ads, people will say, "If you don't like it, skip this video." I don't give people an out. I don't tell them to leave. I just continue on with a vein of who this is best for. All right. So again, there's a lot of simplicity here just in sales. I mean, when you're selling somebody, you're telling them who qualifies. who this is great for, because you want the person that it's great for to imagine themselves in that situation. You're giving them something to aspire to. The third part is a big part, and this is why it's a little bit different on other avenues, is you want to give them education. You want to educate people. YouTube is an education platform. It's the second largest search engine in the world. And Google itself predicts it will be the #1 search engine in the world in the next couple of years. It's an education-based platform. People go onto YouTube for one of two reasons, mainly. They want infotainment, so they want information that's entertaining or compelling, or they go on there for sheer, they're just vegetative. Like they want to listen to music videos and all that stuff. But infotainment, things like how can I, what is, how does, all those types of searches happen a lot on YouTube. They happen a lot. There's enough data out there that prove that. I do that a lot. I might type on Google, because I'm the least handy person in the world, how to change the oil in my 2016 CRV. Because I don't know how to do it, and I'm an idiot. How to cut my own hair, right? So that's what people do, and they watch video content. They're already consuming it in this way. So you have to understand that because people are on the platform already, they're already in a mindset to learn. They're already in a mindset to try to figure something out. They're already in a mindset to try to problem solve. And so you want to leverage the mindset that people have, and you want to mirror that in your ad. Whatever mindset they have on the platform, mirror that in your advertising campaign, because that's where they're at already mentally. If they wanted to just be, vegetables, they'd go on Facebook and they'd scroll like, a mindless zombie. But they don't do that. They come to YouTube because there's intent behind what they're doing on the platform. Whether they might start somewhere and end up in a rabbit trail, but there's intent in the reason why they came there. So you want to educate them. On your education, again, has to be simple. Has to be simple. And this is where people struggle, because you have a PhD in what you do. You have a PhD in insurance compared to most people. Compared to the general population, most people don't. Most people have barely above a third grade reading level when it comes to things like this. They don't get it. So your job is to be a simple educator and to show them how your offer works, how it happens, how they can obtain it. So if you're doing an insurance ad, and your irresistible offer is, I'll just go with the low-hanging fruit here. Don't crucify me. Your low-hanging offer is save 30% on your auto insurance or home insurance, whatever. I don't care. You need to explain how that works. And you need to do it in a way that the lay person goes, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. That makes sense. Like that's subconsciously what needs to happen. The moment you introduce friction in the brain and you make the brain have to work for something to get it, they're checked out. They leave because it doesn't appeal to their survival senses, right? On Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's at the very, it's not even registering. So you can't have any friction in any of this. You need to make it very simple to grasp, and you need to grease the tracks in their brain. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to have proof or testimonials. One and the same, really. You need proof. Proof. In the world of advertising, and I'm not going to limit this to online, I'd say this is all advertising for generations, people are skeptical. People are skeptical. That's why they have to introduce slogans like buyer beware that came out long before the internet. People are skeptical of stuff. They want to be sold, but they don't want to be taken advantage of. They want their problem solved, but they don't want to be scammed. So what you need to do is you need to validate your offer. You need to validate everything with showing proof, social proof. And I would say the more dramatic your proof is, the better. You have to make this dramatic. And what do I mean by that? There's a sliding scale, a temperature gauge. On one end, on the temperature, it's blue, right? It's cold. It's ice cold. And on the other end, it's red hot. On the blue side, proof looks like this. You can get XYZ, just like John in Kentucky. We helped him out, and he got this, and then you go on to it, right? There's no real. I could have lied. Could have lied about it. So dramatic proof slides that scale where it's a picture of John's Google review. Sliding it even more to the right, it's a picture of you and John and your arms around him, shaking hands. Going further to the right, it's a video of John saying Nick is great. Sliding even further, it's a video of you and John, and you're asking him a question and he's answering. Sliding even more to the far right, it's an in-person interview. Right? There's when I say drama, there's a degree of intensity of the testimonial of proof, and the more intense you make it, the better it is. We all know how important social proof is. I don't need to rail on this. Social proof is critical. It's the same reason why when you go to Amazon, the first thing you do is you look at reviews. When you go to Yelp, the first thing you do is you read the reviews of the restaurant, because social proof is important. And if you don't have that, you can't validate your offer. I tell people, and I do mean this, while they're scratching the surface, if all you ever did in a video marketing strategy was just show proof, just testimonials, just proof of concept, proof of results, proof that what you say you do actually works, that's a winning strategy. That can win. It can win. Because you need to penetrate buyer shields, and you need to penetrate defense mechanisms that people already established in their brain. And proof does that. It brings validation. So you need to introduce that in your ad. You need to introduce it in the entire process, because it brings validation. The next part that you really want to focus on is you need to sell. And I know I say this often, that this is important, this is important, this is important, this is important here. You need to sell. You need to pitch. A lot of times insurance agents get sheepish. They don't want to sell. Mortgage people, they don't want to sell. They think they do, but they don't like the confrontation of having to actually pitch. They don't know how to ask. Give you a metaphor, because I like to give these illustrative metaphors. It's like when you were, for some of you, it's like when you, before you met your spouse, you had to work up, you were probably in your mind thinking how awesome you were going to be, and you were going to be able to ask them out and get their number, whatever the case might be. But then when it actually came down to it, there was a level of hesitancy. Like, what do I say? Okay, I'm going to approach him or her. Do I shake their hand? Like, people get sheepish when it comes to selling what they do. I will never forget one of the first things we did. Well, not one of the first things. One of the things we did a number of years ago was we had this great idea, to write more commercial insurance in our local market, small commercial. Is that we would bring in business owners, and we'd bring them into my studio that I had built out in my agency, green screen, the works, camera, all that good stuff. And I would say, okay, John the baker, Joe the coffee shop owner, just talk about your business. Let's do a thing where we're going to highlight your business, and we're going to spread out, we're going to build awareness, and we're going to essentially just distribute ads that we make for you just to our community. Basically just like a free advertising platform for them. I was going to pay for ads. You'd be surprised at how many people struggle to talk about their business. They don't know how to do it. You go to a referral networking meeting like a BNI or the TIP or whatever, and first, people who aren't used to it, you ask them to talk about their business for 30 seconds. They don't know how to do it. It's a struggle for many. And it's not just because it's public speaking. It's because people are, I think, afraid to sell. You see it a lot with what we have going on with the pandemic. People asking questions, should I not sell? Should I not market? The answer is yes, you should sell and market, because people still buy stuff. You just need to sell what they're buying. And you need to sell because everybody else is worried about selling. And so you've got a loud voice. It's my personal opinion. But you have to pitch. Now, in your pitch, you have to show, this is where you show why people would want to do business with you. Why you're the expert. Why you're the authority. Why you have the status that makes you desirable. And so here you need to make it very, very simple, very, very clear of, I call it Tarzan marketing. Me, Tarzan, you, Jane. You have this problem. I have this solution. This problem makes you feel a certain way. This solution will fix that. Here's how you buy the solution. You need to do that. And then you need to give them a very easy to do call to action. So in a YouTube ad, what that looks like is hey, down below there's a button for you to click on. It says this. I want you to click on that button. There's a principle, it's a psychological principle, and non-conformity, non-confront, I think is what it's called. But it's when you give people too many options, they typically choose nothing. And so people do this in their ads. They'll say, do this, do that, do this, 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 this. And people don't do it. They don't do anything. They freeze. They're deer in headlights. It's like when I would send out emails to clients, and in my email signature, I would put in here, leave a Google review. Click here to leave a Google review. Click here to leave a Facebook review. Click here to leave a Yelp review. Click here to send us a referral. All these things. Guess how much action I got on those things? 0. When I changed it to just click here for a Google review, and that was it, people did it because they understood it. There wasn't a bevy of options. It's why restaurants style, why they will sometimes make shorter menus. It's why you can, I'm on the West Coast here, so I'm an In-N-Out guy. I go In-N-Out, they've got like 3 things to order because it's easy, it's fast, and people make choices and they make decisions more likely in your favor. So you have to give them a call to action, and you have to repeat it. You have to continuously hammer that home. Hey, down below there's a button to click on, and when you click on that button down below, you're going to be taken to a page. Now, make sure you click on this button right now. I'm going to say it like a carnival barker who says, "Step right up, step right up." That's the mentality, because people need to hear it more than once. In order to take action, they need to hear it more than once, as many times as possible, as many times as you can say it without coming off cringy or weird. You need to remind them of what to do. You ever watch daytime TV commercials? They do this. You look at daytime TV commercials, it's usually like personal injury attorneys and things like that, because that's who's watching that during the day. And they'll say, call 444-4444 for the best results. Make sure you call us at 444-44. And they'll say it numerous times. There's a reason why, because the brain has to remember it. All right, so let me go back and share my screen here so that we can get on through this. Any questions thus far? All right. I don't see any in the chat. We're either knocking it out of the park, or no one's paying attention. Either way, we'll go with we're knocking it out of the park. Let me go ahead and share this here. So really, you got 2 jobs. 2 jobs as an insurance agent who's looking to generate more mortgage leads from referral partners. How to get more referral partners who are going to send you good quality home insurance leads. Number 1, you've got to recruit loan officers who get it. Now, I can spend a good amount of time on this because there's a lot of scars I have where I've fallen, scraped my knee, and drew blood on my own body because I spent a lot of time, wasted a lot of time, a lot of money going after loan officers. You don't just want to get loan officers. You want to get loan officers who get it. What do I mean by that? Well, loan officers, for the most part, get business from one of 2 ways. One of 2 ways, typically. A, they get a lot of referrals from clients and from real estate agents. And this is great. I don't fault them one bit for this. That's a good gig if you just get people who are just referring you business for people. That's what we're trying to do. But people who just refer you business just to get the keys to their house. Good gig if you can get it. I don't fault them for it. But the other way is, they have to actually go out and they have to network, they have to sell, they have to market, they have to do those things like any other small business would do, or small business owner or salesperson would do. The problem is a lot of loan officers don't get it. And this is the downside of being in a relatively good housing economy or a good economy, is that it attracts people to the business who shouldn't be in the business. And I say that with all love and affection. Because of the high margins, it attracts people who would probably be better off working at CarMax. And you know what? There's no harm in that. Fair play to them. The world needs plenty of CarMax salespeople. I'm not trying to say that's a bad thing. But you want to make sure that you aren't attracting these people. It's the difference between a lion who is born in a zoo and who gets chunks of meat, fresh cow meat, delivered to him daily and he's hand-fed while living in a luxurious, animal sanctuary, versus the lion that's raised in the Serengeti and has to hunt a water buffalo every day just to survive. There's a different mindset. There's different attitudes. And again, if you can be that lion that gets hand-fed chunks of fresh cow sirloin, God bless you. It's perfect. But that's not who you really want, because what's going to happen is you'll deliver a lead. And I don't care if this is a Facebook lead, I don't care if this is a YouTube lead, I don't care if this is I don't care if this is your brother who's looking to buy a home and he just needs a loan, it's a hot referral. What happens is you deliver this to a loan officer and they don't have a process. They don't sell. They're expecting laydowns 100% of the time because that's what they're used to. And so what happens is they never, ever blame themselves. They never, ever blame themselves. They never go, you know what? It's on me. Guess what they do? They blame you, the person that brought them the lead. I could do everything to make this lead work. I could take the lead and the loan officer out to dinner and make them shake hands, buy them a bottle of Dom Perignon, and laugh at their dumb jokes. I can do all that. But at the end of the day, the loan officer has to have a process. They have to know how to actually sell. And most loan officers, they just don't have to, so they don't. And so they really struggle with processes. That's what they struggle with. And because they might leave they might call once, and they'll get a message, because most people don't answer their phones from strangers. I don't. They listen to the voicemail. They leave a message, and then they go, those leads suck. Those leads suck. And they don't blame, and then they never do anything else. They don't ever look at themselves and say, I need a better process. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should add some texting. Maybe I should add some email. Maybe I should have a process that if I leave a voicemail, I do this 1 hour later or a day later. So when you're recruiting loan officers, I'm going to talk about how to do that in a second, but when you're recruiting loan officers, these are questions you need to ask. So one question that I'll ask is, hey, Adam, take me through your sales process. Like, what happens when you get leads? Number one, how do you get your business? And they'll say, great. So when you get a lead, like, what happens? Take me through the process. And this is what you want to avoid. These are red flags. When they say, yeah, I'll get a lead and I'll call them. We'll have, like, when do you go? Like, immediately within the first minute, 5 minutes? Well, when I'm free, I'll give them a call. Oh, okay. What happens if you can't get a hold of them? Well, I'll leave a message. Okay, great, fantastic. When's the next time you call? Well, I'll put it on the calendar to follow up with them, like in a couple of days, and if I don't hear back from them. Oh, so you don't have like a this type process? No. Okay, gotcha. Those are the people you want to avoid. You don't want to deal with people like that. Here's what a good referral partner is going to do for you. You're going to say, take me through your sales process. They're going to say, yeah, we have it set up to where it goes right into our CRM. We give them a call. We have someone who gives them a call with, try to get within the first 5 minutes. And if we leave a message, then we notate our CRM, and our CRM will then send out a text message and an email. And then if we don't hear back within an hour, typically we'll have someone else give them a call and repeat the process. And we'll do this. And we'll do this for the period of XYZ amount of time. That's what you want to hear. Something like that. The people that are non-committal, they don't really have a process. Those are the people that burn out. Not only do they burn out, but they're also the people that you waste the biggest amount of time with, and they don't refer you anything. And you're firing them, and you're having to get new loan officers. So you want to make sure you're really dialing in to people who get it. Here's another way that I used to qualify for loan officers, because they'll all ask this question. 100% of the time, they'll ask this question. So what's the conversion rate on these leads? And I go, well, let me try to make it as simple as I possibly can here for you. You're going to get 100. Picture you getting 100 leads a month. 100 leads a month, just for even number's sake. You're going to have your process. It's going to be great. It's going to be beautiful. You can call these people. You can text them. You can email them. You can send carrier pigeons, smoke signals, Morse code, all the above to 50 of them. And you can do that every single day until Jesus returns to this earth. And they're going to ignore you. They're ghosts. They filled something out, but they're ghosts. 50. 1 out of 2. You're left with 50. There's 50 left. I make sure the loan officer is still with me. Then you're going to get 25 of these people, another half of that number. And they lied. They lied to you. They said they had good credit. They said that they wanted to move. They said they had money for down payment. And then when you talk to them, you find out they had 3 repossessions, 2 foreclosures, they work at Burger King, and they don't have more than $100 to their name. They either were very confused or they lied. Nothing you can do about that. We see that on the insurance end as well. You have any tickets for accidents on your record? No. Nope. Perfectly clean. Good driver. I'm a model citizen. You pull the MVR, they got like 3 DUIs. Like, people do that. It's just, I don't know why they do that. They think you're not going to find out. That's 25. You got 25 left. Only 1 out of 4 so far have made it. Make sure they're still tracking with you. Now there's 25. 12 of them are going to be customers, but they're not your customers. They're just not your customers. They are somebody else's customers. And that's because your underwriting, your process, your products don't fit their needs. Nothing you can do about that. They go to the guy around the corner. It's 12 left. You're going to take applications on 12 people. 12 out of 100. And 3 of those people, they're going to do something stupid. They're going to go buy a car. They're going to default on a payment. It's going to mess up their credit. Something. You got 9 left. 9 go through the process, and 5, maybe 6, come out the other side, and they close escrow. The other ones, maybe they get cold feet. They delay. Whatever. John, the loan officer, out of 100 leads, you're going to close 6 of them. And they're going to turn into loans for you. Here's what you want to wait for. Here's how we talk about the people that get it. When you tell them that, the bad ones, the people you don't want to work with, are going to go, ooh, 6? 6? Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. That's not very good. And that sounds like true. That sounds like you're like, yeah, 6 out of 100 sucks. Until you realize in a month, 100, for just round number sake, 6 funded loans probably equates to, 35 to 50 grand in new revenue a month for them on maybe $500 in ad spend. So the good ones, when you tell them that, they go, and these are the people that get it, they'll go, hey, Nick, if that's true, I'm naming my next kid Nick. If you tell me if that's true with my process, and I'm confident in my sales skills, my process, and my team, we can get 5 to 6 funded loans a month. We could put millions of dollars in production into our pipeline, their mortgage pipeline. That is what I want, because they're used to 2%, 1% on Facebook. They're used to less than 1% on Zillow leads. They're used to that. So you tell them 6%, 5%, the good ones get it. That's what you want. When you're throwing stones and trying to see where it lands on which loan officer, that's how you're going to qualify, based on sales process, ability to work and sell, and expectations and what you set. So you need to make sure you're doing that. Your job, number 1, is to recruit loan officers who get it. Number 2, you need to implement systems to help them make more money. And that's what essentially these leads will do, but you need to, again, provide value to them. So this means you call them once a week, once every few days, whatever. You need to put on a schedule to not just disappear, but you call them and you're saying, John, tell me about tell me what's going on. What systems have you put into place? Where are your struggles? What are the hiccups? Where can we make this better? How can I make this an even better thing for you? Some people go as far as to get a CRM. Some people go as far as to hire VA. Like, I'm not telling, these are things that some people do. What I'm telling you to do is to figure out ways to help them make more money. That's what they want. They don't care about the donuts. They care about money. They're business owners. At least they want to think they are. So they care about money. So you need to help them make more money. Now, how do we recruit them? Well, there's a few different ways to recruit them, and here's one easy way to recruit them. You go on LinkedIn. You type in loan officer in a particular area, and make sure you're searching for a particular geographic region. You see who's coming, who comes up. You connect with these folks. Now, what you don't do is you don't connect with them and then shoot them immediately a message and says, hey, let's work together. Don't you hate when people do that to you on LinkedIn? Don't be that guy or gal. But you want to do some research, some intel. So you say, okay, who can I connect with? And so I just randomly picked out Ralph Easterling there in the third one down. I go to Google. I type in Ralph's name, and I do some research on Ralph. I connect with him on Facebook. I friend request him there. I'll explain why, and you want to do that in just a moment. But I go to his website. I see where he works. I see his phone number. I see his legitimate email address. I connect with him. I figure out, is this somebody I want to work with or not? I go back to their LinkedIn and I say, okay, does Ralph change, does he change companies like every 3 months? I'm looking for those things. I'm trying to understand what's going on. I might want to give him a call. I might want to show up at his office. Maybe not. I don't know if I would recommend that cold, but I might shoot him an email. I figure out who he is. And then what I do is I show proof. Now, a lot of people don't like to do this, but the people that don't like to do this are also the people that don't get referral partners for the most part. They have a hard time. They have a harder time with it. I show proof. I show what I do. I ask them to be friends on Facebook. I connect with them. They're already on Facebook. I connect with them there. I show off. I post posts like this every so often where I show what we're doing and the results that we're getting. And I ask, do you know anybody like this? Is there anybody out there in loan officer world that can handle these things? Look, this is a free service. I just want more referrals. And I make that very clear when I talk to them. So I show proof. And then once I get them engaging here, then I can engage with them on LinkedIn. Or once I see that they're engaging with me anywhere, like this one right down here, my wife, Natalie Roberts, as a lender, great, now I can do that. What you'll find is you'll get a lot of people, loan officers, who comment on this stuff, but you'll get even more of them who don't want to be seen in public, and they'll message you. And they'll say, hey, I'd love to talk with you. Great, I'd love to talk with you too. And that's where I begin my vetting process. That's where I begin figuring out, is this somebody I want to work with? One thing that sounds attractive is people say, well, I've got like 30 referral partners. I used to think that was cool. But honestly, I don't anymore. I don't want 30 partners. I want 5 or 6 partners who send me volume. That's what I want. It's the same reason why I don't want 30 carriers in my independent agency. I don't want to have to make them all happy. I want just a handful that I can manage, and it's simple, and these are the best ones, and I'm great with these. And if I need to recruit more, I can. But for me, I'm looking for referral partners that are doing at least 10 loans a month. That's another thing when you find loan officers who get it. You want to ask them, how many loans a month or how many transactions a month are you doing? How many loans are you funding a month? They're going to tell you 12. If they tell you 12, the answer is really 6. Again, I don't know what it is. People aren't the most honest. But I want people who, if they tell me 5, I know it's 1 or 2. So I'm asking them, I want to work with people because I'm going to spend time with these people. And if I can get 5 or 6 loan officers who each send me 10 to 12 deals a month, that's great. That's 60 to 75 new homes a month I have the opportunity of writing, and we're going to cross-sell the auto. Now, I tell them, this is something I'm going to do for you at no cost. I'm not going to charge you for this. I might ask you to pay for the ad spend over time, but I'm not going to charge you for this. All I care about is referrals. You know what I want, Mr. or Mrs. Lender? I just want opportunities. I want at-bats. I need to be able to stand in the batter's box on every single opportunity that you have for a customer, because I know as an independent agent, I'm not going to close 100% of those. I know I'm not. They're going to have a brother that works in the industry. They're going to, whatever. They're going to possibly find something cheaper that they like. Someone's going to lowball them. I get it. I'm not going to win every opportunity, but I know I'm going to win at least 6 or 7 out of 10, and that's fine for me. That's why I need those at bats. And you need to figure out what your number is, but I want 10 to 12 opportunities every single month. And yes, you'll have slow months and you'll have busy months and it'll even out, but I need someone who's committed to me because I'm going to be committed to them. And that's what you want. You want to deliver reciprocal value. You have a vested interest in order to make sure that they're making more money. The more money they make, just like the businesses that you write work comp for, you want those businesses to explode so they have to hire more people. Right? Same way here. I want them closing more loans. The more loans I close, the more they're going to love me. The more they love me, the more that they're not going to even think about sending a referral elsewhere. If they're not sending referrals now, they're going to send them because they're going to love what I do for them. So you want to make sure you're displaying physical proof of what you're able to do because you're able to attract more people, right? It's bait. You need to bait them. So I'm going to close out with just this, and we'll take some questions here. Because I know there's probably things you guys want to know more about. But listen, my only call to action, I'm not here to sell you anything. Here's what I do ask, though, is I want you to go to my YouTube channel. I want you to subscribe. That's what I want. I jokingly tell people that if I can get YouTube to start paying me, I don't have to ask for money from anybody else, and that's what I would prefer. So I want you to go to my YouTube channel. I want you to subscribe to my channel, watch the content, find value in it. Let it be something that helps you. I put a lot of free content on my YouTube channel, all geared towards YouTube ads training. I have a whole mini series on YouTube ads for beginners. These things are going to help you. I put almost course level material out on these things. And it's going to hopefully add some value to you. And you're going to find, a lot of actionable content there. So we've gone a little over an hour here. I want to open it up and see if anybody has any questions, any thoughts, maybe any objections that you guys might have that maybe you want more clarity on, and you're thinking, I don't know if this would be something I want to work. I'll tell you this, I don't know that it's a great strategy for every single person. Maybe mortgage leads isn't what you need to do, but maybe like Adam here, maybe you need to figure out who your customers are and deploy a referral strategy for them, knowing that that's how you're going to get more business of what you want to write. And so there's all kinds of different angles that you can go at, lots of different things that you can do. Does anybody have any questions here?
Nick, I know when I was taking some notes here, going through like your irresistible offer and proof, one of the things that really stuck out to me with proof, of course, Amazon reviews, that's more important than ever now, but something that's worked a lot, especially in the mortgage space right now, is everybody's refinancing. And so when I hear my neighbor's getting a 3.2%, and the next guy I talk to is getting a 3%, and the next person's getting a 2.75% refinancing, that social proof, just talking to them, starts making me think, well, what am I doing? What do I need to look at?
Right. You're more receptive to hear somebody else talk about the fact that they can help you get there.
Exactly.
And that's kind of a rabbit trail on this, but one of the things that we do in our agency for our referral partners, talk about bringing value to them, talk about bringing them more ways to make more money. One of the things that we do in our agency is we track our referrals through the entire customer journey. So when I get a request in my inbox that says Adam needs to refi his mortgage, and I get it from ABC Lending, and then I look at it and I think, wait, Adam was referred to us by Joe Lending. We need to let Joe know about this. And I send that back to Joe so that he has that opportunity to get the refi. All those things, like you need to be able to track those things, and you should track those things. It's all in an effort. The whole leads thing, it's just a way to bring value. It's another translation, value proposition. And the value proposition and the offer for the lender is more money in their pocket. I'm going to do whatever I can to make my lenders more money. The more money they make, the better. The better it is for me.
Yep.
So we have a couple questions here. Who would you target for commercial by Jeremy Myers? Jeremy, I mean, really anybody. I mean, who do you want? Small business, middle market, brick and mortar, online, white collar, blue collar, like manufacturing. Like what is it that you want? David says, I know you said keep it simple and just use a phone for making videos, but any suggestions for easy editing tools for dummies like me? Yeah, there are a lot of simple tools. A lot of companies have come out to make really simple tools. I use Adobe Premiere, but that's kind of like the Ferrari of it. So you don't need that. You can use things like Adobe Spark, Adobe Rush, which you can do on your phone. You can do like Video Leap, which is another mobile app. You can do iMovie if you're on iPhone. You can do Filmora. There's a lot of companies that have what I would call elementary, entry-level programs that get the job done. They certainly get the job done, and you can go that route. Yeah.
Yeah, I know something on iMovie is where I started out with mine, because you're already taking the phone there. You're already taking the video there on your iPhone, and iMovie is there, and it's very easy just to cut and paste that now. Now you do have a course that you have as well.
I do.
Is video editing something that we have to do all of our own, or doing all of our own, or is that something maybe your course helps out with?
Yeah, no, we do that for people who are part of our program. We do,
Okay.
and I want to be careful because I know people are like, okay, here comes the pitch, and that's not what this is about. I want to provide value, so
right.
But yes, we take that out of people's hands. We'll do that all for them, so they don't have to do it.
Okay. I will give a little, I guess, sneak peek of stuff I've seen. Is sometimes it's people targeting commercial niches, sometimes it's targeting certain affinity groups. So it's not just mortgages. Yep. It's really whatever you want to target. It's what you want to bring to the table.
Yeah. So Jeremy gives some clarity here, and this kind of helps a little bit. So I usually target commercial realtors, commercial loan officers, CPAs, etc. Okay. So whenever you're targeting anybody with Google, think about it. I showed that slide of how Google knows where to show the ad, who to show the ad to, and I give the example of people go to Google and they type in homes for sale in Phoenix or Lexington or wherever, and they're looking, they're researching, and they go to websites, they do those things. That's how you get in front of them. So it's no different from a commercial or any niche standpoint. You have to think about, okay, who is my client, and what is it that they're doing online? Other than looking at porn and cat videos, what is it that they do online? So you have to boil that down. Okay, I know that my customers, they search for these things. I'll give you an example because I feel like it's easier to reach for me. Like bars, right? We have people. I work with people who target like bars and restaurants, and bars I know are a little bit different. Not everybody can write bars. There's special programs depending on liquor and dancing and entertainment, all those. There's underwriting's a little bit different on a bar than it is for the coffee shop. So they're researching things that bar owners would be researching. They're putting in things that they be researching, things like cleaning services or supplies or like taps, things like that. That me as the insurance agent, I'm not researching. I don't care about bar taps. I don't care about the different types of bar taps. But you know who does? Bar owners. So you figure out what it is that they're researching, and then you use that to curate. Google's smart. You know, Google's intelligent. Google's the real guru here. They'll be able to curate who is doing that. And then that's how you make your audience. And so figuring out what it is that they're researching is important. So when you talk about like commercial loan officer, they're probably researching things like, so from the professional standpoint, they're researching things like CE. They're researching things like special programs or research because they have to know how that works. They're going to certain websites for associations or for, like I said, continuing education or, things that only they would be going to. You need to just figure out what it is that they're doing on the internet. And
PPP loans.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so for small business owners, that's huge, right? So for small business owners, like the amount of people who are probably researching SBA loans or PPP loans or like, who wasn't researching that thing? My grandma. She wasn't researching the PPP loans. My 7-year-old wasn't researching that stuff. My wife wasn't researching that stuff. You know who was? Business owners. So again, you'll have things like that happen that are trends that you can capitalize on that make it easier. Yeah, that's an easy one. That wasn't so easy 4 months ago, right? But it's easy now. And so you just need to figure out what it is that people are doing on the internet. And you can do that a number of ways. You can ask questions. You can evaluate. You can spend a lot of time just researching, going to different websites and seeing and going down the rabbit hole of what people are doing and trying to get into the mind of your customer, and you can find an audience. And sometimes it's things that are just they're not the most obvious. You have to think about the things that are fringe and not obvious to you. They're obvious to people. What is it that we all what does an insurance agent do online? Well, they They go to things like Big Eye Kentucky website. They go to all kinds of places, right? And so it's no different.
Any more questions from anybody here?
Awesome, Jeremy.